Hello everyone, this is Suresh from Azure ADB. Today our topic is how to use the function day of year in PySpark. So day of year. So this function we use to extract the day of the year as an integer value between 1 and 365 or 366. So it depends on leaf year. Okay, so from by using input column as either date or timestamp column. So it returns the day number from the year. So either like this from 1 to 365 or 366. So this value depends on leap year. So the starting value is January 1st. So that is day one, and December 31st. So that is the value either 365 or 366 depend on leap year. So this function is implemented in Spark from 1.5 version onwards. So we'll see how leap years it will handle. So it considers leap year automatically, this function, and this function correctly accounts for leap years. So returning 366, suppose in case, so in recent years, 2024, we got leap year. So for that, we, we are getting 366 for December 31st. Okay, so we'll see the syntax. So syntax is day of year, and we need to pass expression. So this expression can be of value or the columns of either date or timestamp. So the data types, if you see, the input column should be of date type or timestamp type. So if it is a string, we should first convert it to either date or timestamp data type by using to underscore date function or to underscore timestamp function. So what will get written is after applying this function, so we'll get day of the year as an integer value from date or timestamp column. So first I'm importing the required functions. So mainly day of year and expression. So my first scenario is how to get day of year from date string column. So date string column is whenever you create a data frame by using spark.create data frame. And here I'm passing two columns. One is name and one more is date of join. And here I'm passing date values as string. So here, if I create by using this, I will get my date column as string data type. So these cases, what I need to do is I need to convert from string to date data type by using to underscore date function. So before that, what I'm doing, I'm directly applying this date of year function, but still it is working. So for few of the functions, we need to convert it to date data type, otherwise it won't work. So since we are just getting the day of the year, so it is working on directly on string column. So it is always recommended to convert it first to a date value, then apply this function. Suppose what I'll do, I will run this one first, this one. Next, what I'm doing on top of this sample data frame, first I will convert by using with column. What I'll do, I will move to second row. In this with column, I am mentioning as doj, that means same column, and here I'm using to underscore date function on doj. So here doj to underscore doj, one more closing. So df underscore this one, and here I forget a dot, and I need to import to underscore date function. So what I'll do here, I will import to underscore date function. I will rerun this one. Now I will come back here. So if I do rerun, if you see here, since I used with column and doj, it will override this column and it will convert string to date type. See, data type. And remember, this functionality is working on both string and date column. So day of year works on both string date, string date, uh, string date, and date column. Okay. So now we'll see one by one how these dates are generating. So in first line of code, what I did, I converted from string to data type, and on top of that, I'm using select statement. And first I call this column, input column, doj, and for generating this column, I use this function day of year on this input column, and I given alias as day. So that is this one. So now we'll see for each and every value how this date of year is generated. So my first value is 2025 January 1st. So as we saw at initial, the first day will be January 1st and end day will be December 31st. So this can be 365 or 366. Now, since our value is January 1st, it printing day. So day is first day. And if you come to this one, 2025 January 31st. So 31st is 31 is the day of the year. And next, if you come to this one, 2025 March 10th. So for calculating this value, what I'll do, I'll open the calculator. And if I come to 2005, so this is 2006, this is 2025. So in this, what is the value? March 10th. So in this March 10th. So my first month is 31 days and here 28. So if you see calculator, yeah. So my first month is 31st and second month is 28th, and what I required for March 30. So if I do plus 10, how many days we are getting? 69. So this date belongs to 69th day of the year. And at the same time, if you go for 2025, 520. So that means 4, 5. This is fifth month, 20th. So if we recalculate, so January month is 31st and February month is 28 and March month is 31st and April month is 30 and May month where we are 20th. So what we are getting? 140. So 140th day of the year. At the same way, you can calculate for remaining values also. Suppose in case if you see for 2024 December 31st. See here we are getting 366. And in case of 2025 12/31st, we are getting 365. As we saw initially, the year depends on leap year. So either 365 or 366. Suppose in case we'll see 2024 February, how many days are there? If you see 2025, we have 28. In this month, 28 days we are getting. And that's why you're getting here 365. In case I'll go for 2024 February 29 is there. So end date is 29, one day is there. So that's why you're getting here 366. So like this, it will calculate the day of the year. So next we'll go for how to get day of year using current date. So whenever I use current date, what I'll do, I'll use for.range one. So what it does is it will create single row. So on top of this, I'm using select statement, and here my first column is current date. So current date is today's date it printing. So what I'll do, since I'm using select, I'll do alias. Otherwise, see here that function name in getting here. So here what I'll do alias as today. So my column name is today. If I rerun this one, this will replace with today. So my column name is today and today's date is 2026 3/19. And my second column name is, for this I'm using day of year on this current date. So current date, and for this I'm giving alias as day of year. So this is day of year. And since I'm applying on current date, that means on today's date, our day of value will come March 19th. So this is 31 2026. Okay, current year. So this is current year. So here 31st, uh, 31, 39, 59, and 59 plus 19. So 59 plus 19 will get 78. Okay, so this March 19th. So today date, it will come 78th day of the year. So next is using day of year with a date column. So how I'm creating date column? By using spark.create data frame. So here I'm using two columns. One is name and birthday. And for generating date column, what I'm doing, I'm importing this module, datetime module importing. So datetime dot date. And inside that, I'm passing this value. So what will happen? It will generate the date values. So directly it will generate date data type. So normally what we'll do, we'll give in double quote only this value, date value. So what will happen? That time it will generate string data type. Since I want to direct date data type, I'm using this one, datetime dot date. So by using these values, I created my sample data frame. Now my input column, date column is ready. So now on top of this data frame, select and using star. So star means these two columns I will get. And here what I'm doing, in third column, I want to print the data type of each value. So for that, what I'm using type of, I'm using function called type of on which column? On this birthday column. And I'm using alias here. My column name will become type. And this whole thing I'm keeping in expression, because this type of function currently it is not available in PySpark. So this is PostSQL function. So that's why I'm using expression here. So this piece of code will generate this one. Column name is type, and for each value, it will print the date. Data type is date. Why? Because this data type is date. Suppose if it is here string means here we'll get all string. Suppose this column is timestamp column, then we'll get timestamp here. So next column I'm creating by using day of year. So day of year on this column, birthday column, and alias is year. And if you see 2025 January 1st, we are getting first. And if you see here 2025 12/31, we are getting 365. So here I given same value. What I will do instead, I will change to 2014 we already saw. 2013 I will change it. So if I rerun this one, here I'll get 2013, and again I will rerun this one. So for 2013, 1231, I'm getting 365. And as I told, similar way, it will calculate the day. For this one, 98 of the day, 2024, 1031. So that is 305. So you can uh, do calculation by using calendar. So we'll get exact date will match here. And next is using day of month with a timestamp column. So here we saw date column. For generating date column, what I did, date time dot date. And inside that I passed date values here. Now for generating timestamp, same thing, import date time module. So date time dot date time. So here not date, date time. And here I'm passing both the values. First three are date and next three are time values. So year, month, date, and here it is hour, minute, second. So my column name is TS. So here I'm using Spark dot create data frame. So I will get single column, and these are all timestamp values. So next, on top of this data frame, I'm using star. So star means it will pick existing column. Since we have only one column, we are getting this column. Since we have only single column, you can, instead of star, you can mention this TS column name. So here also I'm using this expression with the type of function. So as I told earlier, now since this timestamp column and these all values are timestamp values, we are getting data type as timestamp. And on top of that, I'm using day of year function on this particular column, and I given alias as year. And if you see here, 2015, 1 January 1st. So we are getting 1. So here also what I'll do, I'll change the date. Here I will change to 14. Instead of 13, I'll change to 14. We'll see the difference. And I will rerun this one. 2014, 1231. Okay, so same 365 days. Okay, and 2012, 31. So for one of the year, we'll get 366. I think for some year we'll get, okay. So whenever leap year comes, we will get a 365. Okay. So here, since I used the same dates, so these are all same values. That means the day of year is same. As I told, by using calendar, we can cross verify this. We can cross verify these values here. And next one is what I'm doing is, this is first method. So this is method day of month with a timestamp column. Day of month with a timestamp column using date time, using date time function. So second one is by using to underscore timestamp. So first we will get string timestamp. That string timestamp we are converting using to underscore timestamp. Using to underscore timestamp. Day of month with a timestamp column using to underscore timestamp. Okay, so here what I'm doing, spark.create data frame. So here I'm directly passing the values as string, and those string values, that means this TS column values, I'm converting by using to underscore timestamp. So instead, what I can do is this one I will change to column name as timestamp, and I will add one more with column. No, not required. So here I will write timestamp. So now what will happen? It will generate two columns now. So first input column is this one, timestamp. So by using this spark dot create data frame, it will generate this column. So column name is timestamp, and if you see data type is string, and if you see whatever we passed values, date and time, we are getting exactly. And after converting by using to underscore timestamp, we are getting data type as timestamp, and these things are converted to timestamp values. See here, this is standard format of timestamp ISO format. So it converted from string to ISO standard timestamp. That means between date we'll get T, and here it will, these two things will get add milliseconds and time zone. Now our input is ready. So on top of sample data frame, I'm using select method, and I'm passing this input column, that is TS, and here I'm using day of year on top of this, input column. So what we'll get? We'll get a day of the year. So here 2028 January 1st, day one of the year, 2017 December 31st. So 365. At the same time, 2026 9/29. If you use this calculator and if you calculate, you will get this one 272. So remaining also same. So similar way it will calculate. So next one is filtering the data. Suppose I want to get all the records in first 100 days of the year. 100 days of the year. So here what I'm doing, I'm creating one table here. Table name is events by using these two columns. Okay. So my column name is ID and date. So I'm inserting these values, my ID and these date values, and this is my final data frame. On top of this data frame, what I'm doing, since I created in SQL, so to convert to Spark data frame, I'm using here spark.table. If you use a spark.table and if you give inside some name, this is our new data frame name. So spark.table, and I'm passing this table name. So this table name I'm passing and saving into this variable. So if you use spark.table, it will convert from SQL table to Spark table. So now I have data frame, that is this one. On top of this sample data frame, I'm using filter function. So in filter condition, what I'm doing, day of year of date column. So here day of year uh, on date column. So in this, what I will do, first I will try to generate day of the column so that it will be easy to understand. So on top of this, I will create one function. I will add one column to existing data frame. Uh, Here I'm using with column day of year and display. So on top of this, my input table I'm using with column, and my column name is a day. In column name is a day, and here I'm using day of year on date. If I run this one, for this data frame, it will add one more column with all day of the year values. So here, this is our input, initial input. On top of this, I'm adding one more column. So here it will print day of the year. So day of the year values it will print. So now I'm using filter condition. So now on top of this one, final, I'm doing filter. I'm doing filter this data frame by using what condition? Day of year of date. That means this piece of code will generate this column. So based on this column, I want to filter, but how condition is less than or equal to 100. If these days are less than or equal to 100, I want to filter only those rows. So here less than or equal to 100, we have only these three rows. See here, these three are greater than 100. So we'll get result these three. So 14691. And if you see relevant dates, 2024, 11, 215, 330. So only these three dates will get. See, only these three dates will get. So this is how you can filter first 100 days of the year. Okay, so next how we can apply the conditions like aggregation functions, how you can apply by using day of the year. So for that, again, I'm creating one sample data frame by using SQL. So here I have two columns, ID and date, and this is my data frame. And what I'm doing here is on top of that, this SQL data frame, I'm calling through spark.sql, spark.table, so that it will convert Spark table to Spark data frame. And on top of this, I'm using with column, and my column name is this one. So here, what I'm doing, I'm adding the flags here. How I'm doing, I'm using conditions here. So my first condition is when day of year of date. So for this column, if day is less than or equal to 90, then I have to print like Q1. If a day of year is less than or equal to 190, then I have to print as Q2. For remaining cases, I want to print as later. So here what I will do, I will add day of the year column one additional to better understanding. Okay. So here I'm adding one more column here, and how what I'm adding here is day of year of date. So for this date column, it will add day of the year. See here for each value, it added day of the year. So now what is my first condition is in first when condition is day of year of date. So that means these values, if it is less than or equal to 90, less than or equal to 90. So we have only one value. So for that, I want to tag as Q1, Q1 quarter one. And when day of year of date means these values, if it is less than or equal to 190. So less than or equal to 190, I want to make it Qt. So these two are less than or equal to 190. I am defining as Q2. For remaining all, I want to print as later. So you can change your this condition like to tag uh, which day of year belong to quarter one, which day of year belong to quarter three, and quarter two and quarter three, quarter four. So I given conditions like this. You can change these conditions to uh, change this one. So if you want what are the dates belongs to quarter one, quarter two, quarter three, quarter four, you can just update this code. Okay. So here I try to cover almost all the scenarios on how to use day of year function. So that's all about this video. If you really like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you. Hello everyone. This is Suresh from Azure ADB. Today our topic is how to use the function day of month in PySpark. So this function is used to extract the day of the month as an integer value between 1 to 31 from a given date or timestamp column in the data frame. Both day of month and day functions accept a column of date, timestamp, or date string or timestamp string data types. The function returns the day of the month as an integer value between 1 and 31. So this in PySpark will be having, so here I will update. This can be, we can use either a day of month or day function. So both are same and both will give you the same output. So day of month or day, and at the same time here date timestamp or date string or timestamp string. Okay, so only difference is if your data frame has a date and timestamp data type already, so we can directly apply this function, either date of month or day function. If we have string type, either date or timestamp, if we have string type, first we need to convert this for date by using to underscore date and for timestamp by using to underscore timestamp to convert a date string to date and a timestamp string to timestamp. So first we'll see for syntax. So day of month and or day. So inside that we need to provide the expression. So date type default format is 4 wise M and D. So that means year, month, date. So timestamp default format is so year, month, date, and hour, minute, second, and millisecond. And what it returns is it returns null in case if the input is a string. So that cannot cannot be cached or date timestamp. So that means if our input either date or timestamp, it is a string type, and if you apply directly this day of month, it will give you return null. So the default format of the Spark timestamp is this one. So for year, month, date, and hour, minute, second, and millisecond. So in our syntax expression, we already discussed like it accepts the column of date or timestamp or string. String is either date or timestamp. So if it is string type, we need to cast it to timestamp, either date or timestamp, we need to cast it. So output type is it returns the day component as an integer value. And what is alternative for day of month is, so you can also use the shorter function name as day. So which is an alias for day of month. So now we'll see some sample syntax here. Suppose I have my sample data frame like this. So I have string type. So here I'm using spark.create data frame, and inside that I'm passing the date and my column name is dt. So once you create by this, you will get as date string. And first I'm trying to use day of month. So this we need to import from spark dot PySpark dot SQL dot functions, day of month function. And after importing, so on top of this data frame, I'm using df dot select, and here I'm using day of month of dt. So that means function is day of month, and inside that I'm passing this column. So since I'm using select, I'm using alias here. And so this is one way of doing this, day of month. And if you are using day, so from PySpark.sql.functions, we need to import day function and df.select. So here code is same, only difference is instead of day of month, we need to pass the day. And if you apply this one, what will get output is day of month is 8. So in this year is 2015, month is 04, and day is 08. So that 8 will get here day of month. So next one more sample example is, suppose I have one date like this. So if you apply this function, day of month, what we'll get is 31. So in this day is 31, that 31 will get. And in similar way, from this particular date, we'll get 8 as the day. So that is this one. And if we have timestamp input, so from this, what is the day? 29. So that will get here. So now we'll go to some scenarios. So first I'm importing the required functions. So mainly day of month, and I'll try to import a day also here. Okay, and whenever you have a string type, so for converting, we have to use to underscore date. If you have timestamp string, then we have to use this to underscore timestamp. And this day of month we already imported here. And if you want to change the format, you can use this data underscore format. So my first scenario is using day of month with a string date column. If you see initially, so our input columns either date or timestamp, or date string or timestamp string. So four different types. So here my first scenario is to handle string date. So string date means, so suppose if you see my column is date is, but values it looking like date, but if you see data type is string. If you see here string, so that's we're calling as string date. So here first I'm creating the sample data frame by using spark.create data frame. So here I'm passing my data. So this list of tuples, and each date value I'm passing here. And I have single column, that is date. And if you run this one, so I will get with a single column, that is date. And these are all the values I passed, and my data type is string. So now what we need to do is, so on top of this sample data frame, I'm using select statement. And first I'm picking this input column, that is date. And on top of that, I'm using this function. So first what I'm doing is, first I'm printing the type, data type I'm printing here. So for that, so we have function like type of. So type of, and inside that we need to pass the column name. And I'm giving alias here. So my alias name is type. So that is column name. And whatever this type of is here, so currently it is not available in PySpark function. So it is available in Spark SQL function. So whenever you have functions with Spark SQL, you need to use expression. So we have to use expression, and inside that we need to write the SQL, Spark SQL statements. So by using this, for each value, it will print the data type. So since all are string, so it printing string tag. And I'm creating one more column by using date of month. So this is our function day of month, and inside that I'm passing our input column, that is date. And I given alias as day. My column name is day. So now what will happen? From each date value, it will extract the day. So from this particular date value, so this is the day G1. So we are getting 1. And from this date value, so this is the day 29. So it's printing 29. And similar way, from this date value, 31 is the day. So we are getting 31. So now we are extracted the day from string date type column. Next, we'll go for one more scenario using day of month with a date column. So that means now we are applying directly on date column. So this is string date and this is date column. So how I'm creating date column is by using spark.create data frame. And earlier we passed list of values. So list of values I passed instead of this as string values I passed. So here what I'm doing, I'm using Python function. First I'm importing datetime module here, and from datetime I have date function. So datetime dot date, and inside that I'm passing my date value. So what will happen? We will get output as date value. So that means date data type we will get directly. See here, date data type. So since earlier we given list of tuple, so list of tuple, and inside that we passed as string value. But here by using datetime module, directly I'm creating date values. That means date data type values. So my column name is this one, dt, and I have these many values, date values. So now the syntax is same. So here I'm using df dot select. My sample data frame is this one, df underscore 03. I'm using select and I'm using star here. So star means from my sample data frame, it will pick all the columns. Since only single column is there, instead of star, you can type dt also. Okay, it is fine. So this expression we already discussed. So now earlier we got string type. Since it directly we are getting data type, now our data type is date. And here I'm using day of month on dt. So that means this column. For this value, what is the day? 8. So for all these values, what is the day? 31. Okay, so this is about second scenario. So next one is casting from string to date. So that means suppose I'm generating one string value. So that means first I'm using spark.create data frame like single value, single ID. So that means this is for generating the single row. So that means my column is ID and I'm passing single value. So that means by using this line of code, we will get only this column, single column. That is column name is ID, that is one. So instead of this, you can do one more thing like spark dot range one. So both are same. So now on top of this data frame, I'm using with column and my column name is date. And here I'm using first I'm passing the value, string value by using lit function. So inside lit, I'm passing as string value. So now suppose if I don't use to underscore date. So suppose what I'll do, I will add one more row here. What I'll do without to underscore date, I will do here. Okay, so here I will remove to underscore date and I will remove one more here. And here instead of date, I will mention string. So if I rerun this one, what will happen here? It one more column will get add. So one is string. So that is a string. And since we passed through lit function, what we are getting through lit, we passed as string value. So this value we are getting, but our data type is string. So for that, what I'm doing, I'm using to underscore date function. So if I use to underscore date function on top of this value, it will convert string data type to date value. Okay, so now my input is ready. So now on top of this sample data frame, I'm using select, and on top of this date column, what I'm using, day of month on this date column. So now what will happen, df underscore 01. I will try to update this one. Okay. So in select, since I'm selecting only date column, so we are not getting these two. Okay. So in select date and the day of month. So for this, what is the day of month? 7th. So this is one example, and one more example is on top of sample data frame. What I'm doing, first I'm printing a day of the week by using day underscore format. See, by using day of month, we got the number. That means day number we got it. But suppose if you want to know the day name also, then what you can do is you can do with column and column name. We can use a date underscore format function, and we can mention the column name, and here you can mention 4 years. Suppose if you want full name of the day, you can use 4 years, or otherwise say single E or double E, triple E. So it will give you shorter name of the day. Okay, so this is only to show uh, name of the day. Okay, so this is the scenario for how to convert string to date. So next we'll go for other scenario using day of month with a timestamp column. So now how I'm creating timestamp is spark.create data frame, and inside that I'm passing single value. Okay, so here my column name is TS and my timestamp value is this. So if I run only this line of code, what will happen? The column will get create, but data type will be string type. So data type will be string type. So for converting string to timestamp, what I'm using, dot with column, and I'm mentioning same column name, and here I'm using to underscore timestamp, and inside that I'm giving ts. So that what will happen, it will convert string to date. So what I will do to show string data type, what I will do, ts, and instead of ts, I will give you name. So maybe I'll give here timestamp, timestamp, and this one I'll give here timestamp, and my new column is ts. Now if I run this one, so our initial column is a timestamp, that is string type, and after applying with column, so that is our timestamp column. And if you see the difference, so initially we passed as string value, that is only date and time. So after converting, we are getting first date and between t, and if you see here time, only hour, minute, second is there. So here additionally we are getting millisecond also plus time zone also. Okay, so now my timestamp input column is ready. So on top of this data frame, what I'm doing, select TS. That means this input column I'm selecting here. And on top of that, I'm creating one more column by using day of month on this TS column. And I give an alias as day. So from this, it will pick the day. So in this, what is the day? 17. So it will print you this day value. So this is from timestamp column. And so this is one method. This method is, you can say like, what we can say is, I will mention as A and B. So one is day of month with string timestamp. So day of month with string timestamp. So that means first we are getting string value, then we are converting. And second one is we are directly handling timestamp value. So day of month with your timestamp call. So how we are getting directly timestamp, that we'll see here. Okay. So for directly getting timestamp value, what I'm doing here, I'm using import datetime function, spark.create data frame, datetime. From this datetime module, I'm using datetime. And if you see earlier, I used datetime dot date. For creating date values, I used date function. See here, datetime dot date for creating the date values. Now, for creating timestamp values, I'm using datetime dot datetime. So datetime dot datetime, and inside that I'm passing all these values, date and time values I'm passing here. So here also date and time values, and my column name is TS. So if I run this one, I will get these two values. So if you see earlier, since we passed as a string, so we don't get this t milliseconds, these time zones, you don't get it. Since here we are directly printing timestamp by using this module, we are getting direct timestamp values. Now, on top of this, what I'm doing, df sample data frame dot select, and I given star. So star means here we have only one column, that is TS. So it's selecting TS, and you can, instead of star, you can directly mention TS also. Okay. So first I'm printing data type. So on this column here I'm using type of, and I given alias as type. So that means column name is type by using expression. So now I'm getting timestamp. If you observe in earlier cases, whenever we have string date, we got string type, and whenever we have date type, we got date, and whenever we have timestamp, we are getting type as timestamp. Now on top of that, I'm using day of month function, and inside that I'm passing my input column. So that is this one, and I given alias as month. So now this column will generate, and from this value, what is the day? 8. So that it will print here. From this timestamp, what is the day? 31. So that it will print here. Okay, so next we'll go for other scenario. Suppose I want to filter the data. So that means I want to get all the records from first day of the month. Okay, so we'll see how we can handle this one by using day of month function. My sample data is like this. So here I have different dates I have, and if you see, dates are not on first day of the month. See, we have different dates here, and on different dates we have different orders. And now by using spark.create data frame, I'm passing this data here, and my column names is first is date, and the second one is order underscore ID. And to convert these string values to date, here I'm using to underscore date function on this date column by using this one. So since it is already in default format, actually this format is not required. You can omit this one. So this format will define only when you have date values in custom format. So that means other than year, month, date. So if you return also no problem, you can omit also no problem. Okay. So now what I will get, my date values will get date data type. Now what my condition is, I want to filter the records from first day of the month. So for that, what I'm doing, if you see here, this is first is there, third month first date is there, but here 15 is there, Here, fourth month, 20th is there. Here, first month, 10th is there. So different dates are there. First, what I need to do is here I'm doing based on here on sample data frame, I'm using filter function, and in filter, what I'm doing, day of month of date is equal to 1. So that means first this function what it does is it will go to each value of date and it will extract the date. So from this 1 it will extract. So day is 1. So if that value is equal to 1, then it will filter here. So here this value we are getting. And next we will come to this value. So by using this function, what is the date here? 15. So 15 is equal to 1? No. So it will ignore this value. Next it will come to this one. So here day value is 1. So that is equal to 1. So it will filter this value. So we are getting this one. So like this, it will check each and every value and it will filter only when day is equal to 1. So next value will get 7 as 1. So that is third one. And one more is this one, 2, 1. So that is this one. So one more is 23, 1, 1. So that is this one. So out of 10 values, total we have 5 values with month starting date. Okay, so next, uh, how to do group by based on day of the month. So for this, what I'm doing, I think almost similar data set I took and similar functions I used to create data frame and to underscore date to convert the string to date. So our final data set is this one. And on top of this data frame, what I'm doing, this is our sample data frame. So that is this one. On this, I'm using group by. So in group by, what I'm doing, instead of using directly these values, what I'm doing here, I'm using day of month of date, and I given alias as a day. So first, what it will do, it will extract this day column. So that is this one. First, it will create one day column, and for each day, see here, 1, 1, 2, 15. So here, 1, 1, 1, 1. So first, what it do, what I will do is for easy reference, I will add one column here, then we'll discuss this one. So on top of this, here only, I will add one more with column and with column on day on same. Okay, I will give new column that is a day and day of month on this date. And yeah, that's all. And if I rearrange this one, I will try to rerun this one so that it will get added one more column here. That is a day column. So for this value here 1 and here 1 and here 2 and here this is 15 and this is 1 for these two 15 for this 30. So now we have day values. So what this function does is same thing. So this is equal to this one. So now on this column, we are applying group by. What will happen? These two all ones become one group. And if you see these two and this one. And after doing group by, what we need required is count. So I want to just count the records for each group. How many um, how many counts are there? That means how many records are there. And if you see group by using one, so these two and this one, we have total 3. And if you see here, so for day 1, so that is for day 1, we have total 3 records. So that's why we're getting 3 here. And at the same time, if I check for other group, maybe if you go for second, this second, we have only one group. So here it will print 2 and 1. And we'll check for other value. After 2, maybe I'll pick 15. So 15 we have 3 values. So it will show 15 as 3 count. So next remaining is 30. So this 30 we have only 1 count. And I given order by day. So order by day means, so this order first it will order the day column. So based on that it will give you the count, respective group count. So this how you can do group by using day of month. So next, how to use conditions by using when and otherwise condition. Some logics how to apply by using this day of the month. So here also similar kind of data set I'm creating. So same set of code, and here what I will do first, here also I will try to add one column, day column. So it will be easy to understand. If I try to rerun this, we'll get added one more column, day column, and respective days will get added here. So on top of this, what I'm doing, this is my sample data frame, that is this. And here I'm adding one more new column, that is month start. So, and inside that I'm giving the condition. So now what is my condition is, one is when condition, one more is otherwise condition. So I had to print yes or no. So if this condition, this when condition satisfies, it will print yes, otherwise it print no. So what is my when condition is, if day of month of day date column is equal to 1, then I have to print yes. So if you see here, how many ones are there? So wherever 1 is there, it will print yes. And for remaining all, it will print no. So here first one, third one, fifth one. So for these values, it will print yes. So first one, third one, fifth one, it will print yes. For remaining all, it will print no. Okay, so here I printed at the same way we can print here also. You can add that column so that you can compare here itself. So what I'll do, this sample data frame, here I will add same column here. So what I can do is I can copy same thing here. So my column name should be date. Okay, I wrongly copied. I supposed to do this one. Okay, so day of month on date column. If I rerun this one, so this column will get add here, and wherever 1 is there, it will print yes, and for all remaining, it will print no. Okay, so with column, so I will remove here. So why duplication? I will remove here. So let it be sample data frame, and on top of that, it will generate this one. Okay, so here I covered maximum scenarios, how we can use day of month function. So that's all about this video. If you really like this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.